Alright, we're going to start another project here. Now, I've never made one of these, so I'm going to take y'all along with me. I don't see where it's going to be a big, hard thing to do, but since I've never done it, we'll do it together. My buddy Jason, Big Bear, Big Bear Homestead, have a nice day. He wants a beaver knife. Now, I had never heard of a beaver knife because trapping here where I live, I've said before, is just about non-existent. The laws are so complicated that, I mean, I'm sure there are people here that trap here and there, I think, but it's not a real big deal around, not around here. Maybe South Florida. Who knows? I don't know anything about that. But I researched these. I've got the blade shape in mind. Now this is 1095 high carbon steel. I'm going to forge it in the forge. And it's going to take a lot of beating and banging, I think, to get the shape that I want. But it's it won't be that bad. Now the handle end, I went ahead and pre-drilled my holes, because when you get this steel, it's already annealed. It's already soft enough to where you can drill it and work with it. And I think, you know, Jason, they call him Big Bear. He's got them big bear paws. So I made the handle bigger than the ones I researched. Just a little bit bigger, and maybe get a better handle on it. And when I get done with that, Jason, there's your fleshing knife that I promised you back right after Thanksgiving that I hadn't had time to get to. But I'm going to do that today too while I got the forge lit. Now Jason's is a professional trapper, I think. And they trap all kind of stuff up there. Beavers and muskrats and warthogs and whatever they got in Georgia. I don't know. But I'd like to razz Jason a little bit. He's a Marine and I'm an Army guy, which means we like each other. So. Alright, I'm going to get started on this. As I get through the pounding process on it, I'll show you the progress. Not quite hot enough. She's cooking now. Now I'm going to show you this right quick. For a friend of mine, I told him about this. I'm going to go ahead and preheat my oil, my quenching oil, for when I get ready for that. Just heat up a piece of scrap metal and get your oil hot. And that is motor oil. Alright, and that'll stay warm for a good long time for when I get ready for the heat treating part. Now I'm getting a basic shape. See how that curve's starting to come in? Alright, that's my basic shape. Now I'll cut this off. Hammer handle's coming loose. I get a little bit more of a shape that I want, get that curve a little bit more. I'll just nip these corners off. That's a round part right there. Then I'll separate the handle from the blade. Whoop. See, I'm separating the blade from the handle. Now that's the basic shape I want right there. See, I've got, this is the edge, this will be the cutting edge. I'm going to pound that down just a little bit flatter so I don't have to grind so much. Then I'll square it all up on the grinder. And not much more, that'll be finished. Alright, there is our beaver knife. Now, right here, got a little hot, burnt that edge just a little bit, but that doesn't matter because I've got to square it on the grinder, and that'll take care of that. But it's good and thin on that edge, and that's thick. So we're going to let this cool. While this is cooling, I'll get started on the draw knife, and I'll show you some of that as we get it beat out. Same thing, it's getting heated in the forge and beat out too. A lot of work for a Marine. And while I'm talking about that, back in my day when we was in, all the services, we joshed each other all the time and got along about it too. You know, had fun. You know, we called Navy guys bellhops that carried the bags for the Marines when they'd get on the boat. And we told the Marines that we'd stack them up when we come, you know, because they go first, and we'd stack them up, hide behind them, and then we'd go finish up the job. And it was all in good fun. And we used to enjoy doing that with each other. But this new generation, I was over at base, Air Force Base, not long ago, and talking to a couple, and they got all kind of mad if you josh them a little bit. So when I talk about Marines or Air Force guys or what's the other one? Sailors, you Navy guys, puddle jumpers. My cousin is a retired puddle jumper. You Coast Guards, you Coasties, it's all in good fun. So if I say something like that, if you take offense, I don't care. Alright, let's get started on. Now, the fleshing knife is a, if I didn't say it, it's a lawnmower blade. This was one of those mulching blades. Had the curve in it. The first thing we got to do is get it flat. Then I'm going to start working the edge along here. Or somewhat of an edge. Sure it's fairly straight. Now on these, see it's starting to get a little curve. Most of the rest of this is going to be grinder work, and then a heat treat, and we'll work on that a little bit later. But what I mean to say is, you need to start with a flat piece of stock. So now we got it flat. Alright, let's get this blade heat treated. Got the blade edge on it. I'm going to heat treat this in the propane forge, because I've got it ground pretty thin. And if some of y'all remember, I did some heat treating a while back in the big forge and I got it too hot and burned them up. And I sure don't want to go that way again after all the work this took. Now reheating my oil is hot. Now I do this by hand and eye so I can see what's going on in there. Check it, make sure it's straight. Still straight. If it's gonna crack, now's when it's gonna do it. I don't see anything. I think it's just fine. Now we're gonna put it over here on the cooling rack. Right there. Now we're gonna let it cool and clean it off and temper it. Once it's tempered, we'll get the handles ready for it, and that one's almost done. Now the fleshing knife, that's going to have to be a part 2, because I'm just about pooped out. Got the runny nose, the sniffles, so I'll have to do that tomorrow. Finish that one up. Alright, we're going to call this part 1, because I've got to finish this up tomorrow. This is the Beaver knife. I got the handle glue up going on here. Jason, I hope you like dark hickory, because that's what we got. Now this will all get cleaned up, and it's not sharp yet. Got to do the sharpening on it still. But that's where it is right now, and tomorrow I'll get out here. It's supposed to be warmer tomorrow. It's supposed to get back up into the upper 60s or maybe 70. Because right now it's in the mid 50s, and I'm about to freeze to death. Quit laughing. You know who you are. So, hope it wasn't too long and drawn out. But I thank y'all for watching. I thank you for your support. And I'll see y'all tomorrow.